All right, good morning everyone and welcome to another story time video. So today I want to talk about obviously the little scar that I have on my face. Some of you probably already know this at this point. I was at a professional basketball scouting event, ended up getting hit, got a concussion, got 4 stitches. But this morning I was writing my newsletter and I was trying to reflect on what is the most valuable thing that I could share. And I think I got something really good and I figured I'd make a video about it so I can go more in depth. And that was how to navigate hardship, obstacles, speed bumps, when life throws you curveballs, basically. Because a lot of the comments I got in my response to me dealing with the concussion, all those things, even though I've been training, 4 hours every single day for the goal of basketball, was that I handled, me getting a concussion and 4 stitches pretty well, and that it wasn't a surprise to people. So I thought to myself, what was my framework when I get bad news? Because some of you may or may not notice, but when I was 22, my late partner got diagnosed with breast cancer. I became her caregiver. She passed away when I was 27. That was a 4.5 years roughly of probably the most intense period of my life. I've built and scaled a business successfully for the past 5+ years. I've navigated a lot of hardships, a lot of ups and downs, and I know that I'm not the only one. You listening, you've been through your hard things that have made you the person that you are today. So everyone goes through hard things, but everyone navigates the hard things differently. Sometimes some people will turn to substances or other means as a way to distract themselves or numb themselves from the pain or the situation that they're dealing with. And I feel like I've been put in some pretty hard situation and I didn't turn it to any of those things. And I think that's because of the framework that I've built in my head as I've kind of progressed through life. And I got to give, a big shout out to my parents for raising me in such a way to stay away from some of those things that would cause me to numb myself, right? I've always used fitness as my means of escapism, and that's why I competed in half Ironman way back in the day. And, in 3 years, I finished top 10% in the world. That's how much distraction I needed in my life at that point. I trained really, really hard and I trained a lot. To go back to, this little injury, this little, speed bump that hit on this journey of trying to get a professional basketball contract and overseas. I'm not trying to play in the United States. If you want more details on that, there's other videos on my channel. But I want to talk about the framework that I've been using for myself. So when I was trying to break it down, because a lot of times it's hard to identify what is the thing that gets us to act this way. So the first thing is I realized that I'm very addicted, I think would be the word, to progressing, to improving myself. It could be a good thing and it could be a bad thing. Sometimes you can over optimize or be over obsessed over getting better, where it can start to affect other areas of your life. And I've definitely been down that path in the past. I've refined it over the years and found like a nice balance. And what I found is that I very much fell in love with the process of becoming the better version of myself, whether that is as a husband, whether that is as an entrepreneur, a leader, a basketball player, a brother, a friend, whatever it may be. I've fallen in love with the idea that I can get 0.01%, 1% better over the grand picture of things. I've detached myself from wanting to get better now. And obviously if I see, let's just, again, we're putting random numbers to it, but if I see like a 10% increase, which would be pretty significant in a short period of time, I'm going to be like everyone else. And I'm going to be very excited, but I'm also going to understand that it's not always going to happen that way. I've fallen in love with the process of becoming the better version of myself for, over 2 decades at this point. And obviously you see patterns along the way. And one of them is if you can see a small difference over the course of a few months or a few years, when you start the year in January and you end it and you're in a different position, you're in a different mindset, you're a different person, you show up differently in a much better way than you did at the beginning of the year, to me, that would be a successful year. So I don't expect to make leaps and bounds of progress, but I just love getting better. For the sake of getting better, and there's this quote, I can't remember who said it, but basically when you are to pass away and you are to, step in front of God, and there's going to be someone else there, and that person is going to be the best version of yourself that you could have been. And now the question is, are you going to be looking at someone that is the same person as you, or someone that actually utilized their potential while they were on earth to serve as best as they could, to live the best life, to love and to support everyone around them. So to me, I want to be able to get up there and look at the person and for it to be the exact same person that I am. So that's my little love for the journey of progressing. And I think fundamentally every human loves to progress. I just think that a lot of people are having a harder time with doing the work in order to progress. And when they don't see progress, then they beat themselves up. And I've definitely been there. I've definitely beat myself up a lot. I still, to a certain extent, do catch myself beating myself up when things aren't going the way that I want to. But then I remember that things aren't always going to go in the way that I want to. But in the grand scheme of things, things always end up working out. And I never thought that I would say that after losing someone important in my life. But I do believe that everything happens for a reason to this day. So not only is there this love for progressing, but then I ask myself, like, what makes it so that I am able to progress? Because everyone loves progress, right? I was talking to someone about playing basketball or playing soccer or any sport. No one likes to lose, right? No one fundamentally likes to lose. Everyone likes to win. Everyone likes to improve. But the reality of life is you don't always win, but you always have the opportunity to get better. So if we all have this love for getting better, of wanting to win, of wanting to be better, then why are there so many people that struggle to take the actions necessary to get there? And so I try to reverse engineer that question for myself. And what allowed me to kind of get out of the situations that I was, where I was like 70K plus, in debt from paying for all the cancer treatments and putting myself in a great position and building a great life and kind of going through all of these things. And I think one of the main muscles that I was able to work on and that I was forced to work on when my late partner was going through cancer was the muscle of showing up imperfectly. Because a lot of times we wait for the perfect time. We waited for it to be sunny outside for us to sleep well and blah, blah, blah. Even this video, you might hear me say words in a funny way. I'm 1 week-ish post-concussion. Like, I'm still looking for my words on some things, but I really wanted to film this video for multiple reasons. One, I'm moving to a new place. So this is kind of me recording before I undo this setup and rebuild it. But at the end of the day, I could wait another week to film this video, but then it's not going to go out on time. So we're taking imperfect action. Showing up and being okay with taking imperfect action and showing up and taking the actions even when I don't feel like it, even when I don't want to. I obviously don't know what it's like to have kids, but I know what it's like to be a caregiver to someone where their life is on the line and where you have to rush to the hospital and there's emergencies and things like that. As much as those are very extreme situations, you don't always want to show up even though you love the person you want to care. Like, sometimes you just have shit days. Sometimes the stress of the situation is taking a toll on you, but you still have to show up. So it forced me to just do the action whether I feel like it or not. And I think that's something that a lot of people struggle with, is to be like, my brain doesn't want to. I feel down. I feel depressed. So I'm not going to take the action. And I have my moments where I feel down. I have my moments where I feel depressed. I have my moments where I don't feel aligned, where I feel sore, where I feel tired, where I feel groggy, where I get a lot of bad news. But I've kind of learned to just kind of do it grumpy, if that makes sense, right? Like, there's so many times I would walk to the gym, you're training 3-4 hours a day to trying to compete at an elite level. Like, there's trainings that you don't want to do. Your body's sore and you're tired, and there's things going on in business, and then, we're moving. There's a lot of things. I'll literally walk to the gym with my shoulders down and just be grumpy. I don't want to be here. I'm tired. My shit's sore, blah, blah, blah. And I'm grumpy, and I'm still putting on my shoes, and I'm tying my shoes, and I start dribbling, or I go to the weights and I start doing some weights. But eventually, as I start to do the motion, I start to feel better. And then I just always end up finishing my workout. So the thing is, I don't always commit to doing the full thing. I just commit to doing the beginning of it. And usually when I commit to do the beginning of it, I start to feel better, and then I want to finish the whole thing. So this muscle of doing the thing, even if you feel grumpy, sore, achy, or you don't feel like it, that's the thing to me that builds character. As you repeat that process over and over again, you build a character, it starts to become a part of your identity. When you do that over and over again, you make these little micro moves to consistently show up. Well, it gives you more opportunities for you to improve and get better in whatever area it is that you're starting to show up more for, which therefore by default is allowing you to make progress towards your goal and become the better version of yourself, whatever department that is. It can be in your relationship, it can be in your health, it can be your fitness, it can be your finances, it can be your business. could be a friendship, your family, whatever it may be. The training that muscle, and for any of you that have ever worked out at any point in your life, when you're newer to it, it sucks. Your body's sore, you don't want to, you don't know if you're doing it properly. It feels a little bit wonky. It feels a little bit rough. Like, I don't know if I'm doing the right thing. I might be doing too much, might be doing too little. I don't know if it's perfect, but you kind of still keep going anyways. And eventually you kind of get a handle on it. It's the same thing with building the muscle of showing up consistently when you don't want to. It feels weird. It feels icky. You're not too sure how to feel about the fact that you don't know how to feel as you're taking the actions and you're not feeling your best. Again, I'm not talking about like you being sick or anything. It's just, you're not going to be motivated every day. You're not going to be inspired every day to take the most grandiose action. There's going to be days where you feel like you just feel normal and you still got to do the thing. And I think that's what makes a difference between people that are able to be successful, healthy, fit, have good relationships in their marriage and with their family, is they show up when they don't want to. Because if everyone waited to feel good, to feel motivated, for it to be sunny outside and to feel good, then the majority of people, then that's a very small percentage of your day throughout the year, then you'd never be able to get anywhere. Probably many of you listening to this video right now are in a relationship or have been in a relationship, or potentially you're out of a relationship. What happens if you don't show up for that relationship? All right, like, I love you and all those things, but when they need your help, you're not there. You're not there to support them. You're not there to talk to them. The relationship is going to end, right? And it's not going to go well for you. You're not going to be able to have a flourishing relationship. Well, it's the same thing with yourself. A lot of people forget to show up for themselves. And so the reason they forget or don't show up for themselves is because they don't feel like it. But when you live a life of only taking actions when you don't feel like it, you end up having a pretty miserable life, in my opinion. Because I used to do that and I didn't have that creative a life. I didn't have the things that I wanted. I wasn't able to progress and have the impact and serve as many people as I want to. And my life has completely changed since I started taking imperfect action. So I just want to kind of reverse engineer that with you guys. The thing that has helped me to build character during hard times has just been falling in love with the process of bettering myself. I'll take whatever I can get. On some days, and again, right now, because of the concussion, I did my first workout today and I did about 250 shots, but it was very slow when I was shooting. But again, the shots were going in, but it wasn't at my regular speed and strength that I normally do it. And normally I'll strength train and then I'll shoot and then I'll dribble. My session will be 4 hours. I did about an hour today because that's all my body can handle, which again is fine. It's not necessarily about the volume or the quantity or showing up perfectly. The fact that I showed up when the situations weren't perfect and it wasn't ideal is the thing that builds character. So some of you that are struggling with your health, you're struggling with working out consistently, you're struggling with making healthy decisions for your nutrition, the plan is not going to make a difference because realistically, you're never going to be able to stick to the plan 100% perfectly. I'm not able to stick to the plan 100% perfectly, but I'm able to stick to it more often than not, which is the reason why I make progression over time, right? The idea is not perfection, it's about consistency. If you struggle with those two areas, the plan is not necessarily the issue, because you can have a shitty plan or a really good plan. If you don't stick to either of them, you'll have the same outcome. You need to get your mindset right. And when I mean mindset, I don't mean about like positive self-talk and feeling motivated and inspired and all of those things, but having the mindset of, I am in love with the process of getting better, regardless of what is thrown at me. I will find a way to show up consistently for the goals that I want. Treat your health and fitness as you treat your marriage or your relationship with your kids or your business or whatever is the thing that you're the most consistent with in your life that you have success at. Treat your health and fitness like that, because the only reason that you have that area of your life that is going so well is because you're showing up consistently. You're showing up when you don't want to. You're doing the best that you can. You're tweaking and optimizing and improving yourself as you go along, and you're learning. That's how you're able to have that area of your life be so great. It's literally the same thing with health and fitness. It will just feel weird because you potentially just suck at it right now. If you haven't mastered it, you suck at it right now. That's just the reality of it. I'll be honest with you, since I got hit in the head, the filter for saying things is gone a little bit. So I apologize if I'm a little more abrupt. I've been told that in the past week. If you're not there, you probably suck at it right now, which is fine. You were probably terrible at relationship at first, or in your business or in your career, whatever it is that you're doing, but you've learned over time because you showed up. So be more attached to getting better than at what speed you get to the outcome. If you can detach yourself fully from the outcome, you can just focus on the actions of showing up. it is undeniable that at one point you will get to your goal. Will it happen faster than what you expect it to be in your head? Probably not, because a lot of times they're highly unrealistic when it comes to short frame goals. But will it happen eventually? I believe absolutely. At least that's how I'm living my life. If I choose to show up consistently and continue to improve my actions, eventually I get to the place where I want to. Does it take longer? Yes, but who cares? I got to the place where I wanted to. A race against myself. So if it takes a little bit longer, who cares? I got to the destination. I got the life. I got the relationship. I got the business. I got the financial situation that I want to. Like, at the end of the day, that's what matters. It's not about how fast you got there, because the faster you go, probably the less sustainable the method was. So you're not learning anything. You're not building character. You're not building it into your identity. And potentially you're building the wrong character, the wrong identity by trying to take shortcut and speed things up. So be patient. What are you rushing towards? You're not rushing towards anything. And I would still say that to myself when I was dead broke and I was going to lose my apartment and I was 70K in debt and my late partner was going through her cancer treatment. You feel like you're rushing, but at the end of the day, you can't really speed up anything. All you can do is show up and do your best every single day. So give yourself grace, even though it is maybe the hardest time in your life when you're watching this video. I hope this all makes sense. Like I said, since I'm recovering from the concussion, I'm able to piece timelines and stories better when I'm talking, but the skill of podcasting has definitely been affected a little bit to kind of keep the storyline. So I hope all of this makes sense. If it's complete gibberish, let me know in the comment section below, and I won't film a video the next time I'm getting a concussion. But that is me taking imperfect action and ensuring that I can consistently provide value, because I mentioned that I would post every single week on this date. So I want to say I appreciate you all. I hope this video was helpful. You know, everyone goes through something at some point in life. You're maybe going through something right now, but if you can just give yourself grace, show up imperfectly, do the best that you can. I promise you, eventually things will work out, right? My great friend who was there when my late partner passed away, he said, this too shall pass. So good times will pass, bad times will pass. So appreciate them while they're there, because they're there to teach you a lesson either way. So good times will pass, bad times will pass, all right? So just appreciate them and learn along the way. So I hope this makes sense. I hope you all have an incredible day. I appreciate you for watching the video. If you make it all the way to the end and you like this type of videos, I invite you to subscribe to the channel. We're on a target to hit 50,000 before the end of the year, which again, that's my target that I set for myself. If it takes me longer, I don't care. I care more about getting to that number, because there's other goals that I have tied to it. So this is just the target. If you're gonna help me in achieving that, that would be appreciated. I appreciate you all, and we'll see you in the next video. So for those of you that like to read more of the content versus watching it, I have, in my opinion, a great newsletter that I send every single Saturday about lessons from the week to help you on your transformation of improving your body composition on a whole food plant-based lifestyle. And whether you're the age of 20 all the way up to 86, we specialize in working with members that are over 50. So that's something that you'd be interested in and you want to level up your mindset, your life, your health, your fitness, and your body composition, I invite you to sign with the link that is down below. Again, it's absolutely free, and I send one email every single Saturday with a lot of tips about fitness, nutrition, mindset, and a lot of other great things like the cancer donations that we make every single month, where we donate a percentage of our profit to families going through cancer, because I remember what that was like, and I know that it made a tremendous difference for us. So it is now my time to give back. So I appreciate you all for the support. Sign up for that newsletter, and I'll see you in the next video.